On a bustling street in Cape Town, in the early hours of the morning, Namza walked with weary steps. Her 5-year-old son, Saifo, on her back, had been burning with fever for 3 days. Each time she was turned away at the hospital, the hope within her dwindled a little more. "Mama, my head hurts," Saifo whimpered, resting against her shoulder. Namza's eyes welled up, but she couldn't cry. She had to appear strong. "Shah, my boy, you'll be okay soon," she whispered, though she barely believed her own words. As she pondered what to do with the last 50 rand in her pocket, a luxurious Mercedes caught her attention. She recognized it. David Kruger, one of South Africa's wealthiest businessmen, passed by every morning at this hour, on his way to the office. In that moment, Namsa made a decision. She could no longer endure. She gently placed Saifo in a safe corner of the sidewalk and stepped toward the road. Inside the car, David was yelling into his phone, "If you don't close that deal today, you're all fired." Suddenly, the driver slammed on the brakes. David lurched forward. "What's going on?" he shouted. Namsa had thrown herself in front of the car, eyes closed, arms at her sides. She awaited death, but the impact never came. The car had stopped just in time. David leapt out. "Have you lost your mind? I nearly ran you over." Namsa collapsed to the ground, sobbing. "Kill me. Please, just kill me. My son is dying, and I can't help him." David paused. The woman's tattered clothes, worn-out shoes, and, most of all, the desperation in her eyes struck him. "Calm down," he said, softening his tone. "What happened? What are you talking about?" Trembling, Namsa stood. "My son, Sifo. He has leukemia. His fever hasn't broken for 3 days. The hospital won't treat him without money. I'm just a street vendor, selling corn and fruit, but now I have nothing left." David glanced around. A crowd was gathering. "Driver, get her in the car," he ordered sharply. Then he turned to Namsa. "Where's your son?" Shaking, she pointed to the sidewalk. Little Sifo lay curled up against a wall. David's expression changed. Seeing the boy stirred something inside him. "Bring him to," he commanded. In the car, Namsa held Saifo in her arms, silently weeping. David, now in the front seat, kept glancing back at the boy. Saifo's features. No, it couldn't be. "Who's the boy's father?" he asked abruptly. Namsa lowered her head. "6 years ago, I was a cleaner at the Rosebank Hotel. One night, a guest, he forced himself on me. I got pregnant. I knew who he was, but he didn't even know me. I was fired. When Saifo was born, I tried to reach him, but security wouldn't let me in." David Sepp's face went pale. 6 years ago, the Rosebank Hotel. He remembered staying there, that drunken night. "What was the man Sepp's name?" he asked, his voice trembling. Namsa looked up, straight into David Sepp's eyes. "It was you, Mr. Kruger. You, Sepp's father." David's world turned upside down. "You're lying. This is a trap. You want money." "No," Namsa cried out. "I haven't asked you for anything. I've raised him alone for 6 years. But now he's dying. Look at him. Look at his face. Don't you see how much he looks like you?" David looked at Saifo again. The boy's eyebrows, his jawline, even his expression while sleeping. It was like looking at his own childhood photos. The car stopped in front of a private hospital. David jumped out, barking orders. "Call the best doctors. Now." As the doctors rushed Saifo to the emergency room, Namsa collapsed in the hallway. David sat beside her. "Why didn't you come to me sooner?" he asked, his voice breaking. "I did," Namsa said quietly. "When Saifo was 1, I came. I asked for a DNA test. You had me thrown out. Remember? You called me another liar. Security dragged me away." David buried his head in his hands. He remembered now. Many women came to him with similar claims. He dismissed them all, never bothering to investigate. When the doctor emerged, both leapt to their feet. The boy's condition is critical. He needs a bone marrow transplant urgently. We need to find a compatible donor. I'll do it, David said immediately. Test me. The doctor looked surprised. You're the boy's father, David said, speaking it aloud for the first time. I'm his father. When the test results came back, a miracle happened. David was a perfect match. As preparations for the surgery began, David and Namsa waited by Saifo's bedside. That night, David began. I was so drunk. My wife and I had fought. I remember you now. You came to clean the room. I forced myself on you. I'm sorry. I know it's not enough. But tears streamed down Namsa's face. That night ruined my life. But when Saifo was born, he became my miracle. Despite everything, I loved him. He's innocent. David's phone rang. It was his wife, Helen. Where are you? You missed the meeting. Helen, David said. I need to tell you something. I'm at the hospital. I just found out I have a son. Silence hung on the line. Then Helen's cold voice came through. What did you say? He's 6. He has leukemia. I'm giving him my bone marrow. David Kruger. If this is true, I'll destroy you. I'll take everything. Take it, David said calmly. But first, I have to save my son. On the day of the surgery, the hospital corridor was filled with David's business associates and Helen's lawyers. Helen stormed in, divorce papers in hand. Sign these. I want 70% of your wealth. David took the papers and signed them without reading. Helen was stunned. She hadn't expected it to be so easy. Have you gone mad? We're talking billions of rand. David shook his head. I'll make more money, but if I lose my son, I can't bring him back. The surgery lasted 8 hours. Nemsa watched from behind the glass, her lips moving in prayer. Even David's elderly mother, Mrs. Kruger, came. She was angry with her son, but couldn't resist meeting her grandson. This boy is my blood, she said to Nemsa. Whatever happened in the past, we're family now. Nemsa stared at the wealthy white woman in shock. Did she really see her as family? When the doctor emerged, his face was tired, but hopeful. The surgery was successful. Now we wait to see if his body accepts the marrow. Days passed. Saifo lay in intensive care, hooked to machines. David came every day, sometimes staying overnight. His business partners were furious. The company's collapsing. David, come back. But David didn't care. Let it collapse, he said. I'll build another. One morning, Saifo's eyes opened. Mama, he whispered. Namsa, crying, hugged her son. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Saifo looked around and saw David. The man had sat by his side every day, telling him stories. Who are you, uncle? He asked. David's throat tightened. Namsa spoke softly. He's your father, Saifo. Your real father. Saifo's eyes widened. My father? But you said I didn't have one. I didn't know where he was, Namsa said, glancing at David. But now he's here. And he loves you so much. David knelt, taking his son's small hand. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry I didn't find you sooner. But I'm here now. I'm never leaving. As weeks passed, Saifo grew stronger. David brought him toys and books, but most importantly, gave him his time. He taught him math, helped him read in English. Nomsa watched, her heart torn yet happy. Her son finally had the father he'd always dreamed of. Helen won the divorce case, taking most of David Sip's wealth. But David was building a new life. He rented a beautiful house in Constantia for Namsa and Saifo. This is too much, Namsa said. We are not used to such luxury. You still get used to it, David said. My son deserves the best. So do you. Namsa's eyes filled with tears. I'm nothing, David. You're a billionaire. I'm a street vendor. David took her hand. You're my son's mother. You raised him alone for 6 years. You're stronger than I'll ever be. That night, after tucking Saifo in, Namsa stepped onto the balcony. David was there, gazing at the city lights. Do you regret it? She asked. You lost your wife, most of your money. David shook his head. No. For the first time, I feel free. My marriage to Helen was already over. Money. It's just paper. But Saifo, he's real. For the first time, I have something real. Namsa sat beside him. That night, I still see it in my nightmares. But when I look at Saifo, I see beauty born from that pain. Maybe it was fate. David turned to her. Namsa, I can change the past, but the future, we can build it together. For Saifo, and not just for him. He hesitated. The more I know you, the more I see what real strength is. Someone who stay by my side, even when I have nothing. Namsa stood. David, it's too complicated. I can't trust you. Not yet. David nodded. I understand. I'll wait. I'll be here for Saifo, and maybe one day. Namsa walked inside, pausing at the door. Maybe, she said softly. But first I need to find myself. For 6 years, I've only been surviving. I've forgotten who I am. David gave Namsa capital to start a business. She resisted at first. Her pride was strong, but accepted for Saifo's education. She opened a small cafe called Saifo's Place. Business grew slowly, but steadily. David came every day, sipping coffee. Customers wondered who this handsome, wealthy man was. One day, Saifo came home from school, his face bruised. What happened? Namsa asked, panicked. The kids said my dad's white. They said I was lying, that he can't be my dad. David stood, furious. I'll talk to the school principal. No, Saifo said. That color doesn't matter. You taught me that, Mama. David and Namsa exchanged a glance. This little boy was wiser than both of them. That evening, David told Saifo the truth, in an age-appropriate way, but honestly. I hurt your mom. I was drunk and did bad things. I didn't know about you. But now I am here, and you've ever the best thing in my life. Saifo thought for a moment. So, you were a bad person? David swallowed hard. Yes, I was. But you stare good now? I think trying to be. Saifo smiled. Okay then. Everyone makes mistakes. My teacher says so. Months passed. David's business began to grow again, smaller but stronger. Helen had remarried, spending David's money, but David was happy. He read to Saifo every night, took him to the park on weekends. Namsa slowly warmed to David. She saw he had truly changed, but she remained cautious. One day, at the cafe, David spoke. Namsa, I want to ask you something. I want to officially recognize Saifo. I want him to have my last name. Namsa Fut's heart raced. Are you proposing? Not yet, David said. Why is Atem proposing? We become a real family. What do you say? Namsa Fut's eyes filled with tears. Let Tem ask Sifo, she said. It sets his decision too. That night, they asked Sifo. He thought for a moment, then spoke. I want to be a Kruger. At school, everyone has their dad's last name. I want that too. Then he turned to his mother. But Mama, what do you want? Namsa hugged him. I want you to be happy, baby. The next week, they went to court. Saifo officially became David Saifo Kruger. David couldn't hold back his tears. For the first time, he was a true father. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited. The story had leaked. Mr. Kruger, are you acknowledging your illegitimate child? David took the microphone. I sit him acknowledging my son. Yes, he was born out of wedlock, but he sit him's my son, and I sit him proud of him. His mother, Namsa, is the strongest woman I know. I made mistakes in the past, but now I sit him with my family. The next day, newspapers were filled with the story. Some criticized David, others praised his courage, but David didn't care. All that mattered was the happiness on Saifo's face. Helen gave a TV interview, calling David immoral, but no one listened. Everyone knew David had given up his fortune for his son. Saifo's 8th birthday was approaching. David planned a big party. It's too much, Namsa said. He's a simple boy, but he's my son, David said proudly. It's my first time celebrating his birthday. On the day of the party, hundreds of children came. Saifo was overjoyed. As he blew out the candles, he made a wish. What did you wish for? David asked. Saifo smiled. I can't tell, or it won't come true, but I wished for you and Mama to always be together. David and Namsa looked at each other. That night, after the party, they sat alone in the garden. Namsa, David said, it's been 2 years. I've gotten to know the real you. You're not just Saifo's mother. You changed my life. Namsa Fet's eyes filled with tears. David, I am still scared. What if you do it again? What if you leave us? David knelt. I swear, Namsa. I swear on my life. I'll never leave you. I love you. Namsa began to cry. I love you too, David, but it's so hard. What will people say? A rich white man and a poor black woman. Forget people, David said. All that matters is the 3 of us, our family. Namsa reached out, pulling David to his feet. Okay, she said, but let's take it slow, for Saifo. Everything's for him. A year later, they married in a small ceremony. Saifo carried their rings. Even David's mother came, embracing Namsa. You're my daughter now, she said. Forget the past. The future matters. Helen watched from afar, seething. But what could she do? David was happy, truly happy. On their wedding night, after Saifo was asleep, David and Namsa sat on the balcony. Do you regret it? Namsa asked. You lost half your life because of me. David laughed. No, I gained my life because of you. Money, prestige, they set empty, but family, real family, that sets wealth. Namsa rested her head on David Sepp's shoulder. Sometimes I wonder, what if I hadn't stepped in front of your car that morning? Fate, David said. Saifo Sepp's illness, your desperation, my being there. It all happened for a reason. A miracle, Namsa whispered. Our miracle. Years passed. Saifo grew up and decided he wanted to study medicine. I want to help sick kids like me, he said. David and Namsa swelled with pride. They had twins, a girl and a boy. David's company grew again, but it was different now. He donated to hospitals and schools. At Saifo's Tours University graduation, David gave a speech. My son taught me what matters in life. Not money, not power. Family, love, sacrifice. Because of Saifo and his mother, Namsa, I became a real person. Namsa cried, overwhelmed with happiness. Life had brought them together through strange paths. A love born from pain, desperation, and regret. But it was real. It was strong. Saifo walked off the stage in his graduation gown and hugged his parents. I love you, he said. Both of you. You're my heroes. That night, driving home, David held Namsa Fet's hand. Thank you, he said. For what? For forgiving me. For giving me a chance. For making me a better man. Namsa laughed. I didn't make you a better man, David. Sifo did. He changed us both. David nodded. And so, a street vendor's desperation awakened a billionaire's conscience. A love born from pain and regret became a true family. Sifo didn't just survive, he achieved his dreams. David didn't just become a father, he became a true human. And Namsa didn't just forgive, she taught love. Life can create miracles in the most unexpected moments, even in the darkest times. All it takes is an open heart, the courage to forgive, and faith in love. Because true wealth isn't in the bank, it's in the heart, in the home, with family. Namsa's desperate step that morning changed 3 lives forever and gave them hope.